What's up, guys? Welcome back from the MLG Studios here in New York City. You're watching the WCS America Round of 16 winners match of the first group. Both players are ready. Without any further ado, I'm going to hit that start game button. Alicia currently up 1-0, which means he's one win away from advancing to the round of 8.
Beautiful play there by Alicia in that first set. Really knowing how to punish your opponent for putting your Storm host out of position time and time again. Of course, this next map is going to be Neo Planet S. This is a map most Protoss opt for 2-base play. Alicia so far has gone 3 bases every single map. Will he continue to do so, or will he play a build more catered to this specific map?
I'm certainly excited to find out, and I hope you guys are as well. Remember, get on Twitter, hashtag WCS to get your tweet featured on stream, and of course, go on Team Liquid, go on Reddit, tell people this is going on, and participate in the conversation, because we're having a lot of fun here in New York City, and we hope you guys are as well. Here we are in game number 2 of the winners match. The battlefield is Neo Planet S, and I have the pleasure of introducing our 2 players. In the bottom left-hand location, we have the red Protoss player hailing from Korea and representing Team Axiom. He is 1 win away from advancing to the round of 8 of WCS America. He is Alicia. His opponent in the top right-hand location of Neo Planet S. We have your blue Zerg player representing Team Liquid and hailing from Norway. He must win 2 here, or he will be down to the final match of the evening. He is Snute.
We can see Alicia going back to that gateway expansion here on Neo Planet S. So, you know, game 1, going to Forge expansion, now going back to the gateway. It could be his timing's more comfortable here. It could be Neo Planet S he feels is more of a gateway expansion base map. One thing that I'm curious to see is, will Snute go for the 3-hatch play on this map? This is a map where a lot of Zergs really love to do the 2-hatch ultra tech. Of course, a 3rd hatch after a layer is started, but
sure, basically
favoring tech over economy, due to the fact that this is a map where it can be a little bit more difficult to hold that 3rd base. It's harder to get creep connected. It's just basically further away, so all your rallied units take a little bit longer to get to that 3rd base.
Now this is fairly interesting. Remember last game, Snute was willing to forfeit this location because that probe was being annoying. This time being a little bit more feisty with that drone, trying to shove away that probe and able to get that that natural expansion down at its proper location. And again, last game, he wasn't necessarily able to do that, so you know, that tells me that maybe he's less inclined to go for 3 hatches in this game versus, of course, game 1.
So it's something that a lot of Zergs decide upon their Overlord Scout. They see a pylon and Forge at the front, you're going to say, okay, let's go 3 hatch. They see nothing at the front, probably gateway expansion, let's just stay on 2 hatches for now until we actually see what's happening. I mean, it could even be like a 1-base 4-gate for all the Zerg knows at that point. Sure. They just know there's no Nexus going down, so it's a little bit better to play safe and just stay on 2 bases.
And of course, Neo Planet S, it's a little bit of a smaller map, so it's not like you have to send a drone to get that intel, you know, accelerated. Overlord is able to get there with well enough time to make that decision, and Snute able to accomplish that. And again, we see Alicia going for that gateway expand here. Mothership Core is on the way, starting to wall off that natural expansion, and of course, keep an eye on this gas from Snute. Let's see if he takes guys off of gas at 100, or if he keeps them in gas. Because if he keeps them in gas, that means he wants to be more tech-minded off of these 2 bases. If he takes them off gas, it's more likely he's going to take a faster 3rd.
You know, given last game, how Alicia seemed very basically in control of the 3-base first 3-base situation, I wouldn't be surprised if Snute goes for 2-base, but actually taking the drones off gas. So he's probably going to take a 3rd hatchery as soon as he has minerals, given, of course, he wants to keep up constant drone production.
All right, Mothership Core checking out the front of his natural expansion, looking for any Baneling shenanigans or something like that, but not going to be a big deal. Of course, Snute did take the guys off of gas, so he's really going to prioritize the drones, now sending that guy over to that proper 3rd hatchery location.
One thing that's very important that Snute does is, because he's delaying that 3rd hatchery to get the Zerging speed, it means he's going to have a little bit less minerals at his disposal. So it's very important that he uses the speed to his advantage by taking all map control and denying all proxy pylons. There's the whole reason you get Zerging speed this early is to make sure no pylons get up. Now, Alicia already has a pylon in the middle of the map. Is that going to be a location that Snute checks for? We see
Interesting.
He's checking all over the bottom right, but he hasn't checked the middle yet. And this could be definitely a downside because he doesn't have that much larva, so he doesn't want to have to build too many units. He wants to use the small amount of larva he has dedicated just to droning.
Looks like trying to shove that mothership core away. Also spotting his opponent's 2 gases at his natural expansion for that Overlord. And he spot the Stargate, though. That's going to be an interesting thing. The Overlord getting so close and barely missing. Oh, he does see the Stargate, just barely there in the main base. And he already has spores up. But he needs to identify that pylon in the middle of the map, I agree.
It's going to be something that could give him a problem. We actually saw Sen lost his 3rd base on Cloud Kingdom to his 6th Zealot attack from a similarly proxied pylon. In fact, there's another pylon going up even closer.
Oh, gosh.
Snute has no idea.
He's looking everywhere but that location. He needs to swinglings around there, or he's going to be in a bit of trouble. Does not want to have to cancel this 3rd base again. The mothership core is there doing a little bit of damage. Queen marching forward, but this might be a rude awakening here for Snute as these Zealots are going to march very soon into that 3rd base. Snute needs to see this pylon.
I mean, the 3rd's gone. The 3rd's done. There's nothing he can do at this point. He's already missed the pylon for too long. That now that 3rd base is going to fall down. The question is can he try to make a game of it? We saw Sen was able to deny Alicia's 3rd quite a few times on Cloud Kingdom, so was able to still play it out. But if Snute can't do that, I mean, I don't know how he's going to try to defend his 3rd.
This has got to be one of the worst feelings in the world, trying to delay as long as possible with these links so we can get more on the field. We have 22 in production, which is already a win here for Alicia. Again, that means his opponent isn't making drones, even killing a lot of drones with these Zealots. There's a time warp in the middle and the Queen going down. Oh no, and 3 more Zealots coming forward here from Alicia. Snute is hurting so much right now.
And you know what makes it worse? He didn't just lose the 3rd. He tried to defend first with drones and lost a lot of drones before that 3rd went down. Now, actually, Alicia's not on hatchery. He's going to say, you know what? I'm just going to get the drone kills I can. And wow, is Snute going to hold his 3rd base?
He might, but 12 workers killed already. Let's see here. Well, he's going to hold his 3rd.
Yeah.
Well,
it makes it all worth it, I think. I mean,
think so?
Of course, it's still bad. He's still in a bad spot losing all those drones.
It's not a lost game, though.
But yeah, it's actually, I think it's definitely better to lose the 12 drones than it is to lose the 3rd base. You can replace drones very quickly, and then you can use that 3rd base economy to try to catch back up in a game. You see, Alicia has not continued to make probes, and he's going, actually now he's building another one, going for Colossi. I think Alicia does want to take a 3rd base. It's definitely, 2 more probes in production. He's looking to take a 3rd base, but he's recognizing the fact that he can't really move out in the map until he gets a Colossus out or a lot of gateway units. And it looks like the Colossus will probably come out first.
Snute still has yet to scout that pylon that's in the middle of the map. He might scout it now. Is he going to duck through there?
Did he?
Gosh,
he missed
just
it.
barely missed it.
Oh, no.
Now I know where to put pylons.
That's a secret spot. That's a secret spot.
You Protoss players, remember that point.
He's looking to deny a 3rd base. Alicia probably has enough units. Yes, the Speedians have to back away. And now Snute's thinking, okay, what's my game plan from here? Alicia's taking a 3rd place.
Swarmos again, it looks like.
It could be Swarmos. It could be straight to Hive play for the Vipers.
Yeah.
It's either going to be Roach Hydra Viper or straight to Swarmos. And you know what? I feel like he'd be better off not building Swarmos. The Roach Hydra attack with the Viper support can work. Vipers Swarmos are very good as well, but you know, they didn't seem to be Snute's forte in that last map.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's a little bit of miscontrol that Alicia was definitely able to take advantage of. Overseer finally spotting that pylon in the middle of the map, but not before Alicia decides he wants to do some aggression. We have some roaches in production here from Snute, but he's a little supply blocked here. 102 out of 102 with 3 overlords in production. This might be the worst time to get supply blocked because Alicia is marching toward his 3rd base.
Oh, the Queens get segmented off. That's not what's happening. Transfuses go down. Speedy is running forward. Snute should defend this attack, I mean, eventually with rallying more and more units, of course, but the goal of this attack is basically to force Snute to make as many low-tech units as possible so that going forward into the late game, Alicia's going to have the advantage. We can see Alicia backing away now saying, okay, I'm low on force fields, no recall with this army, I've got to back away because if I lose the important sentries, that's going to be put me in a weak spot for the late game composition.
And Alicia getting that 3rd set up nicely as a 2 gateway wall out there at that ramp, and Snute able to identify exactly what's going on, got an overseer in the main base, and finally this pylon in the middle going to get taken out. Lots of lings here from Snute. So let's see if he tries to go for some counter aggression. But again, this is something Alicia should be expecting, not only because it's kind of Snute's playstyle, but also because, well, he saw the ling. So I don't expect him to take too much damage to a counter attack, but it looks like Snute can try to set up that base at the bottom right-hand location, transferring some drones over in that direction. And it looks like Snute is wanting to go into Infestor production. His Pathogen Gland's about to finish, a Hive is on the way as well, and some of those Infestors in production.
Snute's going to have to be careful the fact his opponent is going double Robo Colossi. Of course, what that means is that Infestor Roach Hydra is going to be a composition that Colossi will deal very well with, but it also means Templar tech is going to be delayed. So if Snute can get a couple of Vipers out in the field, and if he can use those Abducts, he can really take apart the composition that's going to be based solely around the power of the Colossi.
That's a great point. Definitely keep an eye on that. Some Zerg players will also build some extra Evo chambers, so the Vipers can use Consume, and of course get that energy spiked up there so they can use as many Abducts as fast as possible. But, you know, Alicia able to get this third base up. He has those 6 gases, and as you said, going into double Colossi productions, and his Twilight Council just now started, so his upgrades are going to be a little bit delayed as well. I mean, that's his +1 weapons upgrade. That's just about to finish. He doesn't have an armor upgrade, so we'll have to see how that develops.
But he's moving out to attack now, and right now Snute's army has no chance. As long as the forces are good, there's 3 Colossi. Snute is going to have to give up a base pretty much, and that's a rough spot. I mean, maybe with Vipers.
Hopefully not 2 bases.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to try to defend his third, it looks like.
3 Vipers in production here. Again, the base at the bottom right is also getting harassed by Zealots. A lot of force fields going down from Alicia. Snute is not wanting to engage just yet. Desperately needs those Vipers on the field. He needs to start doing those Abducts so we can take those guys out. Of course, those are the most important parts of this army, and that is Snute's only advantage, the fact that his opponent doesn't have High Templar for that feedback. Snute coming forward. Oh, there's an Abduct onto the Colossus. It's exactly what he needed, targeting that guy down immediately. Needs to abduct those 2 other Colossi as well, though, because they're starting to singe the Lings and Hydras apart.
Snute losing so many units. He needs to make sure he keeps enough units alive that once he takes out the Colossi, he can still deal with the Gateway army. But I think he's done it.
Wow. Taking down the 3rd Colossus as well, and Alicia's going to have to back away. Keep in mind, meanwhile, there are some Zealots working on the base of the bottom right-hand side. Snute needs to keep that alive. His income is down to 61 on the Harvester tab, so needs to make some drones and send them down there as fast as possible as well. Alicia continuing into 2 Colossi production at a time, and the Zealots slowly starting to take down this hatchery with the Hydras coming forward to take that out as well. Looks like we're going to have a quick pause really quick as we try to figure out these issues, but you know, a pretty even game, I want to say. You know, Snute is definitely not out of it just yet.
I actually feel right now Snute has the advantage. He took out the Colossi. Yeah. Templar tech is still basically just starting. Looks like we're back in the game now. You know what was absolutely brilliant is pulling all the drones. If he didn't pull the drones, he would have lost that engagement. Yes, he lost about 15 to 20 drones when he pulled them, but if you didn't lose those 15 to 20 drones, you would have lost the 10 Hydralists, and then you would have lost the game because he just would, Alicia would have kept pushing forward, taking out his 3rd and his 4th base, and Snute would have been in big trouble. But as it is, yes, he lost some drones, but now if he can push forward, okay, good, he has the 2 Vipers with him. He has to take out these. He does need Templar, or he needs enough Colossi that it doesn't matter if you die. Oh,
great position on the Colossi. The Vipers pulling those Colossi forward. The Colossi dying incredibly fast. Still 1 Colossi is up there. Alicia so efficient with his unit positioning at this point in time. Snute, I should say, needs more Abducts, and he's going to have to back away from that composition. Still no Templar warped in here from Alicia.
You know, Snute's in kind of a rough spot because he's in a situation where it was brilliant to pull the drones, and he had to do it to stay in the game. But it also means that his drone count isn't that high. His position as Zerg wants to be 75 drones around at that point if the Protoss is on a full 3 bases. But Snute only has around 60, 65, I think, right now. And so that means that even if he kills the Colossi, he has to basically fight Blink Stalkers with units that, you know, at best trade evenly depending on micro. He doesn't have the numerically superior army right now.
He has the upgrade advantage. I mean, there's only +1 upgrade on these Stalkers, whereas Snute has 2-2 on his missile attacks, and of course the armor. There's some Zealots heading to the bottom right-hand side. They are going to get cleaned up. Also, keep in mind, Snute has nearly killed his own 3rd hatchery with Consumes out of the Vipers, which is a fairly interesting development.
It's something he definitely has to be careful of. I think he wants to make a few more Vipers as well, most likely.
Yes.
But I'm not sure if he feels he has the gas right now. Of course, he's had a hard time really holding that bottom right base. Constant Zealot attacks. In fact, 4 more Zealots going down there.
That might take down the hatchery. Snute looking away for just a second. The hatchery will end up falling. Alicia with a great pickoff on that 4th base. Snute is going to have to remake that immediately, or maybe just take a hatchery at the top side of the map, but there is a Zealot waiting there, making sure that doesn't happen, and that is a perfect pick-off there from Alicia. Now Snute's in a little bit of pressure here to have a good engagement.
And there's 4 Templar on the field, plenty of Blink Stalkers, Colossi supporting them as well. This is going to be a very tough battle for Snute to win, but if he can push forward enough, he can maybe take out the 4th base of Alicia, then back away, equalizing the base count.
Oh, Infestor going to be a little bit vulnerable. Feedback going on to that Infestor, taking it down fairly quickly. Roaches and Hydras going to engage here. Abducts onto the Colossi, trying to take those down immediately, but still 2 Colossi in the air. Feedback's going down onto the Vipers, but did Snute do enough damage there? It looks like he might have. The Roaches and Hydras trying to press forward, trying to take down the Colossi, but Alicia, with so much stuff, desperately trying to hold this 3rd base, and Snute is having trouble making that death blow that he really needs.
He definitely needs to take out the 4th base of Alicia, but Blink Stalkers and Colossi in hot pursuit. Snute's got to get out of there. Oh, trying to set up a concave is Snute, but I think there's too much Protoss for this engagement right here.
A lot of Stalkers, a lot of Colossi, but the upgrades might come into play. The Roaches trying to extend forward to target down those Colossi, but Alicia with so many units here, and it looks like Snute's army is going to get cleaned up. More importantly, Alicia able to hold this 4th base, and Snute is trying to set up another one in the middle of the map, but there's no way that's getting up. I'm sorry, Snute. Alicia heading straight for it.
Snute needs to get those Vipers energy back up. He's trying to use the consumability on his natural hatchery. The gold base is going to be sacrificed. And Snute actually, he's been able to rebuild a decent army because of the bankroll he had, but now that bank is gone. He's sitting at the bottom right as well. So he's going to try to get on an equal base count. And he's in a situation where with beautiful abducts and great positioning, he could still make a comeback happen. He still does have that supply lead. Of course, it is mostly in Roaches and Hydras. If he lets Alicia max out with Stalkers, Colossi, and Templar with Storm, that's the situation that he's going to have an almost impossible time winning. He knows this, and he's pushing around, trying to go after the 4th base yet again before Alicia can build up his army.
Yeah, lots of Vipers remade here, but if Alicia can get those perfect feedbacks onto the Vipers, of course, he's going to render them useless. This is all going to be about positioning. Now, Alicia's army is in the bottom right-hand location, so he's not necessarily going to be prepared to greet this Roach counterattack. And interestingly enough, Snute is keeping the majority of his army back, not wanting to reveal it.
What he wants to do is he wants Alicia to overcommit, and he's going to flank it and abduct all the Colossi with the flank.
Oh, here he comes with the Stalkers, or with the Roaches and the Hydras. The Vipers need those abducts onto the Colossi. 3 Colossi getting abducted there. The feedbacks are a little bit too late. All 4 Colossi abducted, but Alicia getting abducted again on those Colossi. That's exactly what Snute needs. He's up 200 to 102 in supply. He's going to deny that 4th base. A perfect engagement there for Snute.
Beautiful play by Snute there, setting up the perfect concave. The Vipers are positioned so that the Templar couldn't get those feedback offs.
Oh my gosh.
And now Alicia is scrambling to even defend his natural.
Alicia needs to keep those expensive units alive, but Snute doing a great job dodging the Templar feedbacks and abducting those Colossi into the grasp of his Zerg army, and now he is charging into his opponent's natural expansion into the main base, and Alicia desperately trying to come up with an answer. Has an Immoral, has some Stalkers, but his 4th base is denied, and now Snute going straight into his opponent's main base.
Wow, Alicia on the back foot here. I thought Alicia had this game in his hands, but after an amazing engagement by Snute, it's turned completely around, and he's just not stopping. He's going straight for throat.
GG, Snute with the comeback in game number 2. He's going to even up the series at 1-1, doing exactly what he did in his first match of the night. Of course, falling down 0-1 to an ST, but now evening up the series. And what a series we do have on our hands, Mr. Nick.
Such a beautiful comeback move by Snute there, really utilizing the Vipers in those later engagements. And that's, that's something that really cost him that first game. He had a beautiful attack in the first game, but he was never able to get off those key abducts. We saw here the difference. Game 2, it was all about the abducts, always positioning the Vipers correctly, picking off those Colossi, and Alicia had so much money, but it's all being spent. So much of it on these Colossi, they were almost completely neutralized.
Yeah.
And then the cool thing is, Alicia tried to micro back the Colossi. Snute says, no, get back.
Get back here, you can't go anywhere. Back to timeout.
And then, without force fields and the smaller Blink Stalker count against Snute's superior Roach Hydra numbers, Alicia had to back up, and Snute just kept on the aggression.
Snute was in a position where he had to nail perfect abducts to win that game. He had to dodge the high Templar feedbacks, and that's exactly what he did to even up the series at 1-1. Guys, you're watching WCS America, the round of 16. You're watching the winners match between Snute and Alicia. Game 3, the decider, coming up.